Hey, what's up you guys? DJ Mama here, and we're here to cover an episode of DJDecklist. So here we are with an IRL Edison deck. So I've been playing Lightsworn Fairy for a while. I've been playing with mostly like friends. I haven't entered an actual Edison tournament in a while, but I think this is the deck I would take to a tournament. I think this is very good. It's much better than the one I've been playing for a while. The old one was very normal summon heavy or normal summon reliant. This one doesn't seem to be the case. So let's show off what we are doing here today at this time and juncture, shall we? There we go. Okay. So let's start with the lovely main deck. I took this deck list inspiration from a certain I forgot where I got the deck list, but I definitely got it from a YouTuber, another Edison player. I'll link that in the description and I'll put it in the comments what the inspiration was. But it starts off with 3 Archlord Christia. 3 of this card is pretty mandatory. If you want to find your win condition, you gotta play it. And play it we will. 3 seems like a bit much. You can play like I was playing Gold Sark to find it, but Edison's games are going by pretty quick these days, so we're just playing Christia to really at 3 to really play it and make sure you win the game by lucking it down with her. We're playing only 2 Shining Angel. We're not on 3 and Nova Summoner for the weird combo we were doing, so I never really got to do the Shining Angel into recruiter trick. You go Shining Angel, Nova Summoner, and then the Nova Summoner into a 3rd Shining Angel. The 4th Shining Angel or the 3rd Shining Angel will finally attack, go into DD Warrior Lady, and that immediately puts 4 fairies in your graveyard. Never really did it. So we're cutting the recruiter. We still need him because he's still decent and alright. But yeah, we're just cutting him down because he's only okay. We can't cut, however, the best hand trap in the format, apparently. Orange Light. Just negating monster effects is really good. You don't need to run green or even purple. Maybe some people have run green. It's not gonna be me, though. I think, yeah. Just always having the fairies in grave is always really, really good. He ups the fairy count in the grave really, really well. And also being a tuner is pretty nice. I have used him as a tuner and not just a hand trap. Next up we have Double Honest in QCR, I think. Let me see. Yeah, that's a QCR. Where's the stamp at? It's somewhere in there. It's like almost legible. 2 Honest. We're playing as much as we can because obviously it's primarily a light deck, and it does do well even into Colute, and that's enough for me. Next up, our 5th Fairy, a playset of Soul of Purity and Light. So this messes with the graveyard to make sure you have exactly 4 for Christia. It banishes 2 light monsters, so that it doesn't have to be just the fairies. You can always still ban the other supplemental engine, aka the Lightsworns, which is fine enough, and makes it into the list. I think this only has a common print, so there's no high rarity print of Soul and Purity and Light, to my knowledge anyway. Next up, what's going to tie these 2 archetypes together, 2 copies of Celestia. So Celestia is very, very good. Obviously a monarch that outs not just 1 card, but multiple cards and then mills you 4 is really, really nice to have around. It's also a fairy, so it ups the fairy count. I think these are all the fairies we're running. We're not running Dimensional Alchemist anymore or Nova Summoner. So those cards got cut from this build. But yeah, I think this is a good supplement for those cards anyway. Just kind of a Chaos Orc, and maybe the damage effect comes in. Yep. All monsters your opponent controls lose 300 attack during their battle phase, which is certainly an effect you can write in early 2004 Yu-Gi-Oh! Next up, 2 Judgment Dragon, as many as you can run. I think this is a fine amount, actually. Was he at 3 in this format? Probably played 3 of them in just regular Lightsworn, but I think this is fine, but also cards you would definitely run more of if you had them. Lumina, sadly only at the 1, but it's still really decent. Still probably your best get off Charge of the Light Brigade and Edison. The only second to Lila. Lila, you know, she destroys back row, she mills 3, she loses to every other normal summon, but she is an MST on legs. And then we have one Jane. She does hit over something. She does hit over Shura without Kalut. She hits over like Dark Grepher. She hits like over some decent things. In the format, is that good? Sure, why not? If it's searchable too. Next up, we're only playing 2 Wolf. I would play 3. I'm surprised I don't have 3, but the 3 Wolf makes your mills really, really nice. Also makes a good target for Solar Purity and Light to discard once it's done. But yeah, we're playing 3 Wolf. And then we're on 2 Raikou. I still think Raikou's still good. It's the best flip monster in Edison by far still. And yeah, you're seeing a lot of monsters. We'll get to the spells eventually. This is 25 monsters so far. And here's 26. The last Lightsworn running Aurkus, who is really good into a lot of decent decks. You can't target my Lightsworn monsters with card effects, which is everything but JD and the fairies. So it's kind of nice. You do be pretty good against really targeted back row. Some people are playing like Karma Cut, maybe Phoenix Wing Blast, Raigeki Break if they're if it's comes to that. And our last monster is Plague Spreader Zombie. We also cut a Card Trooper from this list, but we couldn't cut Plagues. Plagues makes it out. He is very helpful in synchro climbing. Just probably the best tuner in the format. Maybe there's a debate. Maybe I should make that list. The top tuners in Edison format. We'll see if that one sticks. So next up, where are we at? All right, 3 Solar Recharge. Who would have thought? This card saying discard 1, draw 2, mill 2 is good. So there's that. We're now at 30, and rounding out, we're playing Charge of the Light Brigade, Giant Trunade, 2 Hand Destruction, 3 Trade-In, and 3 Beckoning Light to close it out. So Charge doesn't need any explanation. It's only at 1, so we're playing the 1. Giant Trunade, I wanted some main deck out to a lot of back row. My locals has a lot of people who like to set cards in Edison, so I want to play at least 1 card that deals with that. And Hand Death. Hand Death does really set up a decent amount of plays. The only thing that's really bad is that your opponent kind of gets to set up their graveyard too. If we're stuck with like Wolves in hand, it is what it is. And we just need to draw some cards. We're only playing 2 because we don't want to help the opponent that much with hand destruction. And sometimes even your opponent doesn't have a hand to destruct. Trade-In, though, is a nice little card because we have 5 targets in deck. So we have 2 JD, 2 Christia. You can pitch the Christia and just have it in because we have even if we have trade-in, we still have the 3 Beckoning Light to bring those cards back by discarding your hand and adding a light monster from your graveyard to your hand for everything. So that's the main deck, an exact 40. I think the difference with the list might be more Wolf and not this Giant Trunade. I might have ripped the list honestly, but I think the only thing that wasn't there was the Wolf, and I did want Giant Trunade instead. So there's that, and that's the list. I'm not sure on hand destruction. I'll be honest with you. This one was my most questionable feel. I'll be honest in this deck, but I don't know what other card could be here. Maybe like Jar, Reckless, if you want more draw power. But because the one thing I don't like about hand destruction is that it can help your opponent, and helping your opponent, like what, they pitch a Vayu and then you're like, oh great, rough. And if they have money, they pitch like an Amaryllis. I'm like, oh no, things can get bad from here. So yeah, we just have to rely on like Herald, I guess, in that moment to make sure we have the negate. Okay. Next up, the extra deck. The extra deck and the side deck is also very, very different from the deck list I have, because we're playing 2 Fortress Dragon. Usually I only play 1, but since this deck doesn't really go into the extra deck too often, I think just 2 Fortress is fine enough to deal with Card Trooper specifically in this format. There's some other decent machines, but Card Trooper is the one that like I have to get rid of this card. I don't want it to be on the field longer than it has to. Next up, Armory Arm. This is like what, Herald plus Raikou can make this, which is kind of funny. Or Plagues. Plagues plus a Raikou can make it, because I think Raikou's a 2. So sometimes you need to make this, and it's enough. Next up, Ally of Jessica Taster. Still my boy. Good so generically you forget he's part of an archetype. And of course, man of the format, Brionac, who's here to be a menace. Continuing with our 6 lineup, we have Goyo Guardian. Obviously, I don't think he's ever going to miss an Edison deck profile. Tempest Magician, which is a new one. Making this with Lumina plus Tuners. What do I just do this with? Herald plus Lila, I think, is what we can do. So we can make Tempest Magician with that, or obviously Plagues too. So that helps out. Love to see a little Tempest Magician. That's just our 6 lineup. So that's just these 3 cards. Not playing Urziqueous or Iron Chain Dragon. But with the 7s, we have AFD, Black Rose Dragon, and that's it. Those are our only 7s. We're not playing Power Tool. And then the 8s, Colossal Fighter. I hope I get to do this combo, the Colossal Fighter Armory Arm combo. Could be nice. Dark End Dragon. You can make this with the Tempest Magician, with a Plague Spreader. Like, I don't know, normal Plagues, and while you have a Lila out, make Tempest, do a Tempest little burn, do a little bit of Tempest burn, and then you can bring back the Plagues and make Dark End Dragon. Seems very strong. We also got Light End Dragon, just because we can make it too. It's not bad. It's just like kind of damage step shenanigans. More of these, please. And then we got Thought Ruler, Stardust, and Mistworm as our last. Sorry about that. Okay. Yeah, this is the extra deck. I think he was playing Magical Android and Ancient Sacred Wyvern. Those are 2 cards I don't have at the moment, but I still think these are defensible adds in this extra deck. If you don't want the Chimera techs, it's fine, but I will fit them in because I will respect Machina. Because why not? So that's the extra deck. Let's get into the lovely, lovely side deck. It's a light deck. The format best deck is like 2 dark decks, and they're both the same. It's Blackwing and Bayou Blackwing. So we play Concentrated Light. It's a fairy. Can up the count. And you can float into it with Shiny Angel. Next up, 2 DD Crow. People need to do, I think it hits, Frog, Treeborn Frog, Vayu, other nonsense. So it seems good. And of course we're playing 2 Cyber Dragon because we need to make things with Chimera Tech. It's also still not a bad, like, free special. And then we go on to the spells. Cold Wave, Heavy Storm, MST to round out our back row hate. And then the traps. Solemn Judgment, Trap Dust Shoot, Torrential, and 3 Shadow Imprisoning Mirror. We really don't want to lose the Blackwing. Also, this beats another deck that I'm facing locally in Edison. So yeah, here's what the side deck is. So this ends the DJ deck list. Let me know in the comments section down below if you want to see more deck lists from Edison, current format, or any other format that I might have a deck for. It could be anything. And yeah, hope to see you guys in the future. Let me know your comments, questions, concerns down below. Be respectful, and hope to have a nice conversation with you in the description. Anyway, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.